Well, that's for people to walk. They'll line up.
Oh, you know what? Since you guys were doing the right behind you.
Yeah, I told you.
Okay, then you just try right there. Two, one in the front, one in the back. One in the front,
She does it.
one in the back. One in the front. Come here, guys. Here with me.
I haven't seen this ceremony yet. Here they come right now.
Oh, okay. Where?
Right there, coming to the door.
There she is. Right there in the green shirt. This is. First baseline. So she is us out. Why do get a lot of kids? I hate them to get a lot of kids.
No, seriously. Thank you very much. Whenever you are. Thank you very much. Turn and look this way, you guys. Travis, turn and look this way.
All the way down, Mrs. Hat, all the way down. These autos really want.
Good morning. You guys are awake. Good afternoon. Welcome, parents. This is a little different for us. We're trying something a little bit new. I just kind of feel sometimes that we're so far away from the kids when we do our award ceremonies that we want to kind of get a little bit more of a homey atmosphere. After today, we will see if we do this again. So, but we'd like to welcome both of our parents and our students. Today we're going to be celebrating some great things that are happening on campus. You guys have been working so hard in the classroom, and we want to spend just a few minutes to celebrate. And to celebrate is to kind of like have a party, except we're going to be here to celebrate the fact that boys and girls are doing great work in the classroom. So we're going to start this morning with our Writers Hall of Fame Award winners. And this is the way it works. We will call your name. We want you to please come up. We're going to give everybody one big clap. You're going to come up, and for some of you in kindergarten, we have not done this last year, so for first graders, this is new. You're going to come up, you're going to go over to the table. Mrs. Esparza has a certificate for you. You're going to get your certificate from Mrs. Esparza, and then you're going to walk up and you're going to stand right up here. And then when we're finished and we've done all the names of the people that get the award, we're going to invite our parents to come down the middle. You can have your cameras and snap your pictures to your heart's content. And then we'll get to the next group. Sound like a pretty good deal? Good. Well, let's get started. We're going to start this morning with our Writers Hall of Fame Award winners, and their work is over on that Writers of the Month board. And so when you get a chance, boys and girls, you can go read about what they think is pretty special. So, our Writers of the Month, starting from Mrs. Qualley's class. Would you give one great big clap for Mackenzie? Wait. Holy cow. That's one? Hey, Mackenzie, sit down. We got to do this the right way. We got to do it the right way. When we give Mackenzie a big clap, that means one great big clap. Let's practice. Hang on. Let's practice. If I said Mrs. Esparza. Wow. We got some work to do. Mrs. Esparza. I knew you guys would learn fast. You guys are so smart. Okay, let's try it again. Are you ready? Okay. Get your hands ready. Would you give one big clap for Mackenzie Hasty? Much better. Would you give one great big clap from Mrs. Shong's class? Stephen? Well, Mrs. Shong didn't get the award. But Stephen Shipman. From Mrs. Sanchez's class, Pazong Vang. Is Pazong here? Oh. Stand up, sweetheart. Come right over to Mrs. Esparza.
She didn't get a clap.
From Mrs. Samhammer's class, Valerie Binion. From Mrs. Ma's class, Lisa Vu. In second grade, in Miss Harris's class, Kieran Dixon. From Mrs. Diodato's class, Lauren Graham. From Mrs. Tao's class, Mark McDonald. From Miss Townsend's class, Peter Puchnoff. And from Mrs. Aragon's class, Candace Federico. From Mrs. Cox's class, Jennifer Klingenfield. Jennifer in here? Oh, maybe she's in the third and fourth grade. At this time, standing in front of you are our Writers Hall of Fame Award winners. Parents, if you'd like to come take some pictures, please feel free to do so. We have the aisle in the middle all set for you to come on down and snap away if you'd like. And along with their certificate, they're also receiving a certificate from our friends at Peter Piper's Pizza, so they can go and have a little pizza and celebrate the fact that they were wonderful writers.
I see two.
And a great big round of applause. Congratulations, writers. You may step down and walk back to your seat. Afternoon are the Readers of the Month. And the Reader of the Month award is given to the student who's improved the most in the area of reading. And we're going to start once again with Mrs. Qualley's class. Would you give one great big clap? Would you give one great big clap to Sue Lee? We have got to learn what one is, folks. Let's try it again. I didn't say go. Are you ready? Sue Lee. We're getting better. Sue, you need to come right over to Mrs. Esparza. From Mrs. Shong's class, we'd like to congratulate Seth Yates.
That's when it's done.
From Mrs. Sanchez's class, Jonathan Arredondo. From Mrs. Sam Amber's class, Sierra Trujillo. From Mrs. Ma's class, Bethany Igick. From Mrs. Harris's class in the second grade, Tessie Hurd. From Mrs. Diodato's class, William Kwok. From Mrs. Tao's class, Zachary Butler. From Miss Townsend's class, Alisa De Leon. From Miss Aragon's class, Alexis Green Cabot. And standing before you, boys and girls, are the readers of the month. They're the boys and girls who have worked very, very hard in their classrooms to be better readers. Let's give them a great big hand. And we'd like to invite parents up to take pictures if you would like to do so. And along with their certificate, they're getting a certificate from our friends. Oh, this is a new one. Florentina's Pasta. So you get to go to Florentina's Pasta to have some dinner and celebrate. At this time, once again, let's give a round of applause to our readers of the month. I want to test you and see if you remember something from last year. If I say Tarpey, we work every day to be. That's right, to work the best you can be. Our next award is our Character Award. Boys and girls, the Character Award is given out for students who do the best job of demonstrating character counts. And you know that character counts are all of these pillars. Being fair and trustworthy and responsible, respecting each other's, being a good citizen, caring, and knowing those 6 pillars is what we really worked on this last month. So the following students are being recognized for knowing their 6 pillars. They're not the only ones, but they know them and practice them. In Mrs. Qualley's class, can you give one great big clap for Ashley Reese? In Mrs. Shang's class, Bao Vang. In Mrs. Sanchez's class, Katie Mendoza. In Mrs. Samamer's class, Kenny Castle. In Mrs. Ma's class, Christian Palmer. In Miss Harris's class, Cody Lyles. In Mrs. Diodato's class, Nathan Smith. In Mrs. Tao's class, Michelle Gartsky. In Mrs. Townsend's class, Emily Whitworth. And in Miss Aragon's class, Nikki Underwood. And along with their certificate, they get a certificate to go to McDonald's and have a little meal at McDonald's. Parents, if you'd like to take pictures, you're welcome to do so at this time. I want to know who's going to take me to McDonald's with them. All right. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, would you please join with me in congratulating our character council winners. you can receive in your classroom, and that tells us that you are doing a wonderful job. You care about the other kids in your class. You're responsible. You show the 6 pillars. You do your homework every night. And you work really, really, really hard. So I want you to listen carefully. You're going to hear why these students are picked for being the Student of the Month. Are you ready? We're going to start with Miss Qualley's class. And the Student of the Month in Miss Qualley's class is Ryan Serrano. And this is what Mrs. Qualley has to say about Ryan. Ryan is a very conscientious student. He works hard in the classroom, likes to think, make connections, and discover patterns in his world. It is an honor to have Ryan as our September of the Month. Congratulations, Ryan. From Mrs. Sean's classroom, we'd like to congratulate Julie Lanham. And this is what she has to say about Julie. Julia, what can I say? Julia comes to school ready to learn each and every day. Julia, putting her best foot forward and doing her personal best. Julia, you're a great role model for all of the rest. Congratulations, Julia. Wow, what poetry. From Mrs. Sanchez's class, we'd like to recognize Ashley Canfield. And this is what Mrs. Sanchez has to say about Ashley. Ashley enters the classroom every morning, ready to listen and learn. She's doing excellent work in all areas and especially likes to write wonderful stories. She demonstrates the 6 pillars of character by always being respectful, responsible, and a caring friend. She is a great Tarpey Spartan. Congratulations, Ashley. From Mrs. Sam Hammer's classroom, we'd like to recognize Taylor Taggett. We can always count on Taylor to follow all of the classroom rules. She is respectful of others and has made lots of friends this year. Taylor completes all of her assignments neatly and on time. She's doing an excellent job in reading, writing, and math. Keep up the great work, Taylor. From Mrs. Ma's classroom, Travis Chamberlain. True Tarpey Spartans come to school trying to be the best that they can be each and every day. Travis is a great Spartan. He knows and uses the 6 pillars of character counts. He tries his hardest on all of his work, and he learns something new every day. He is a wonderful student, and I am proud to honor him as the Spartan of the Month. Great job, Travis. In Ms. Harris's classroom, we'd like to recognize Myra Miguel. I am pleased to select Myra for Student of the Month. She is an amazing young lady. Myra walks through the door with a beautiful smile every morning. She sits down, she gets right to work every morning. She works very hard throughout the day, and it shows. I am so excited to have Myra in my class, and we'd like to congratulate our Spartan of the Month. In Mrs. Diodato's classroom, we'd like to recognize Jocelyn Thompson. Jocelyn is an outstanding example of a true Tarpey Spartan. She always has a smile on her face and is ready to hand a helping hand to her classmates. Jocelyn is always attentive during lessons and on task during centers. She excels in all academic areas and is well on her way to a wonderful school career. Congratulations, Jocelyn. From Mrs. Tao's classroom, we'd like to recognize Ariel Anderson. Ariel has been a model student in our classroom. She is very polite and very well-mannered. She gives her best in all she does. She has a great attitude about learning and is always willing to lend a helping hand to her classmates and to her teacher. Congratulations, Ariel. From Miss Townsend's classroom, we'd like to recognize Lance Marr. Lance consistently does the best in all of his school assignments. He is polite and respectful to others. He is friendly and helpful. His homework and seat work is done on time. He is a hard worker and a good example of everyone who does their personal best in room 26. I'm very happy to present this award to Mr. Lance Marr. And our final student of the month from Mrs. Aragon's classroom, Daniel Carrion. I am very happy to honor Daniel as the Spartan of the month for September. Daniel is an outstanding second grader. He's trustworthy and respectful. He is very, very responsible both in school and at home. He plays fair with the other students and is extremely caring. Daniel is a very well-rounded young man and will accomplish many goals in his life. I'm happy to have him as part of room 28. We want to congratulate you and keep up the great work, Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, standing in front of you are the Spartans of the month for the month of September. Let's give them a great big hand. Hang on, we gotta take some pictures. Parents, if you'd like to come forward and take pictures, please feel free to do so. Girls, I hope that next month we get a chance to have you standing up on stage. And the only way you can stand up on stage is to work very, very hard every day. Get your homework done, work hard. We have our Reading Olympiad program, which we're just getting started with. And next month, hopefully we'll have a whole board full of names of kids that have won medals. Thank you for being such good students. Thank you for being such a good audience. Parents, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come and visit with us today. And we'd like to once again congratulate all of our award winners. Let's give them all a great big hand. At this time, we are going to be excusing students back to the classroom, and we're going to take a picture of our students of the month. So at this time, if you are in Mrs. Shong's classroom, would you please stand for me?
And are you going to win some awards? You are? What award are you going to win? Best reader? Best writer? Best all-around sport? I think so. Do you have anything you want to say to Poppy?
Yes.
What are you going to say? You're going to do what?
Fresh
She's going to
chocolate
type
chip cookies.
Whoa.
That's what he said.
Are you taking?
There you go, big smiles. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Michael B. Let me see Michael.
Where's bye-bye George?
He was on the list, I think.
Oh, Michael B. Are you in whose class are you in, Michael?
We're all in
you're
the
Miss
Sam
Hammer's
Hammer.
class too. Let me look here.
It's just
Wait till him. Go. Travis. Wait.
You do, Michael. You're right. Okay,
That's
Michael.
right. He's right in
Caitlin.
I was going to have you in the first. You're going to go here. You're fine, Michael B. Now, do you guys know when to pick up, or are some of these kindergartners? First graders?
First grade. Oh, these are preschoolers.
Those are preschools. Hi. Did you have a... Yeah. Okay, they're coming later. I didn't want them left here, you know, poor little guy.
I'll take a little picture of this group. Okay, Mrs. Samhammer's class. Look here. Everyone say hometown buffet.
Hometown buffet.
Hey.
Yeah, Keith, you, honey.
There you go. All right, girls, close together. Okay, we got it. Get your focus. Okay, ready? Smile. Okay. Just talk about best manners at the restaurant. Okay.
Find a seat and buckle up, please.
All right.
Let me see if I can get a picture inside
Okay.
just real quick.
Let's get all the way, each man.
See,
The best photo is from the other. Wow, you don't see
All have
the
a
bar.
seat?
I got the card.
Okay, put your seatbelt on.
I know, yeah.